Up, everybody? It's your boy CG back at you guys again with some more cryptocurrency news and information. Now, if you guys could do me a big favor before we get into today's articles, hit that like button below. It's the easiest way to bring awareness to my channel. It takes less than a second. Once again, it's really simple. And on top of that, it brings Google to their knees, which I so desperately want because Google has actually been honing me on the back end of not letting me promote any of my videos through AdWords simply because I'm talking about the topic that is cryptocurrency, not giving investment advice in any way, just simply for having cryptocurrency as the subject, which is really stupid if you ask me. But hey, that's the times we live in. I've been looking for alternatives, but for now, this is all I can do. So if you guys actually have suggestions, you can link them below in the comments. But for right now, this is what it is. But let's make everything short and sweet today. We have 4 articles to get through. Let's get to it. Bitcoin ATMs expand despite shelter-in-place rules. So what they're saying essentially in this article is that even though people are supposed to be staying inside and coming into contact with as few people as possible during the coronavirus epidemic, we are seeing ATM companies expanding and even seeing an increase in usage on their ATM networks, which is shocking to a certain degree because I actually did an article previously where they were talking about how ATMs are having to shut down. Like certain companies are having to pull back on certain ATMs and cancel them. Maybe not even cancel them, but shut down the network on those ATMs. So this is actually pretty shocking to see. So essentially, the company that we're talking about today is called Digital Mint. Well, the main one we're talking about is Digital Mint because they're, I guess, the most well known of the Bitcoin ATMs, sometimes known called BTMs. So even during a global pandemic, and perhaps more so, BTC and BTC point of sale services meet our customers' essential needs in participating in the next generation of banking, remittance, and e-commerce. Mark Grenz, co-founder of Digital Mint, a BTM operator, said over email. Approximately 95% of Digital Mint machines are located in or outside of essential businesses and still accessible to the public. While the firm has seen a slight decline in overall volumes, Gren said, we're still driving a consistent amount of new and existing customer traffic even during the lockdown. Since March, Digital Mint has expanded its kiosk and teller services to a dozen new locations in Boston, LA, and Philly. According to Coin ATM Radar, the total number of ATMs has increased from 7,023 to 7,417 in between March 1st and April 1st. Liberty X, another ATM company, received their bit license in New York last year, has been expanding with several hundred ATMs over the last month, and they're including expansions across the country as well. Has added approximately 1,000 new machines in the last 2 months. So yeah, this is really cool. We're still seeing expansions during these times where everything is supposedly going more bad, which is what I was saying before. We're going to see a lot of companies build during this time of economic hardship, and they're going to start coming to life as far as we're going to see real business, real traffic being driven to them when things are good again. They're setting up base, setting up shop, whatever you want to call it, and getting ready for the herd, the stampede to happen. So this is actually pretty cool. Like they're just talking about how they actually have seen a big volumes coming through their networks. Like for instance, with Liberty X, transaction volumes across Liberty X's 3,000 ATM network dropped 20% in March when the COVID epidemic really hit the hardest, and now they're almost back to where they were pre-COVID. April 15th was one of our highest volume ATM days, the day many taxpayers received their stimulus checks. So people are spending their stimulus checks. There is also an ATM network known as CoinSquare, company I meant, who, while they did have to have certain cutbacks as far as cutting off some of their ATMs, they have seen surges in their transaction volume as reported here, despite the shrinking footprint of its ATM network. They said 350 of their 800 ATMs were inaccessible. So wow. So there you go, guys. We're seeing growth when there shouldn't be growth. Next article, Tezos are bringing $300 million in real estate to the Tezos blockchain. Is T0 is okay? I'm not a Tezos person, guys. Is T0 just another way of saying Tezos, or are they like a under Tezos, like a subsidiary, or what's going on with that? Well, anyway, I'm just say Tezos because it's all the same thing to me at the end of the day. So essentially, Vertalo, a company that deals in real estate, is bringing $300 million in real estate to the Tezos blockchain. So essentially, they're going to be tokenizing their real estate. So just to give you guys kind of like an idea of what they're talking about. In the first deal completed in its new tokenization platform, consulting firm Advantage Blockchain is teaming with Vertalo, an alternative trading system, T0, to tokenize the portfolio of Class A properties owned by a boutique firm, the company's told Coindex. So I was talking about this before as well on another article. We're going to start seeing a big shift to blockchain. A lot of people are going to try and tokenize their assets simply because when you do this tokenization, it opens up the board to, well, I'm going to say the board, it opens up the realm to a lot of people who used to not be able to get into the real estate space. It also provides more liquidity to the real estate space as well, but that's only if there's interest there. And that's actually another thing why this process took such a long time, because there was not a lot of interest in tokenization of real estate assets. So now that we are seeing things kind of being fast forwarded because of the epidemic and us seeing all these things that should be able to happen fast and they're not happening fast, we're being shown the constraints of this current system. People are now looking to alternatives, or even not even alternatives, but better methods, more efficient methods. The multi-firm partnership lays the groundwork for a steady stream of real estate tokenization projects for properties and real estate investment trusts in Philly and other parts of the northeastern U.S., said Vertalo CEO Dave Hendricks. So essentially, Tezos is about to see a big, how can I put this? I don't want to say investment, but is about to see large transactions or large volumes being done on their blockchain. And this is actually extremely bullish for Tezos, in my opinion. I'm not into Tezos, but I probably should be, considering the fact that we're seeing things like this happen on their network. And that's a big thing with not even just Tezos, but cryptocurrencies in general. You should be looking for cryptocurrencies that introduce protocols. Invest in protocols for the most part. I'm not saying you can't have a wild card or two, but you really should be looking at protocols in the long run. Protocols that solve hair on fire problems. There are already 55 additional funds in the pipeline waiting to be tokenized, Vertalo's Hendricks said. Vertalo is working with 4 other firms similar to Advantage that will provide access to more funds. This is crazy. I mean, if you're in Tezos, this is probably, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, through Vertalo, Advantage will use the Tezos blockchain to tokenize the real estate. On T0, investors can sign up to trade tokens through Dinosaur Financial Group, a broker-dealer that is consumer-facing. The tokens will be custodied by Nevada-based Prime Trust. In the past, tokenizing real estate has been viewed as a way to make it easier to trade real estate investments. Trading real estate normally requires finding a buyer and transferring paper certificates to a central office. If you own a building and your plan is to own it for 5 years and improve the value, the cost to buy and sell is expensive, Gary Brendis, president of Real Estate Capital Management Group, said. The amount of value you have to create is significant. You have to make it up to get in and out of real estate. The properties in this portfolio will now be open to all accredited investors. You know, I really hate that term, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Instead of just those within traditional real estate owner networks, said Mark Paquin, Advantage's co-founder and COO. While past efforts to tokenize real estate have failed because of low interest, Vertalo is aiming to help managers who are looking to improve back office efficiency and create more liquidity. So yeah, guys, the article's gonna be linked below if you want to get a more in tune and in depth analysis of it. But overall, the picture is looking extremely well thought out. it's looking like there's going to be a bright future ahead for the real estate market, not just Tezos, but for the real estate market as well, and people who are looking to take part. Next article, CZ slams IPOs at Blockdown 2020. So this has been something I felt for a long time, and I'm actually happy that CZ Changpeng Zhao was speaking on this, even though I'm not his biggest fan. He said he's telling the complete truth here. He's basically slamming them for being, how can I put this? If you're into crypto, I'm pretty sure you've heard the term bag holder at least once or twice. Well, if you've been in crypto for a significant amount of time. IPOs are essentially people who got in at the ICO in crypto terms and dumping their bags on the public. So accredited investors, people who make $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I don't know what the laws are for to be considered an accredited investor right now. They buy in on the ground floor when the stock is in the pennies, 10 cents, dollars, whatever it may be, and they sell in the IPO to people who are starving to get in for 100x, 50x, 1,000x, whatever it may be, and they get off rich. So Changpeng Zhao actually went on to criticize this. IPOs leave the public holding the bag. Speaking at Blockdown 2020 on April 16th, CZ described distributed ledger DLT as driving creative destruction in global fundraising practices, arguing blockchain fundraising has allowed individuals to raise money globally in a decentralized fashion for the first time in history. Now, although people have been scammed in the ICO craze in 2017, I think that we're still forgetting the underlying idea behind it. You have to be responsible, hold yourself accountable for all the things that take place, and also, hold on, guys, just gotta plug in my laptop real quick. You have to hold yourself accountable. And you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's all on you. Well, that's what accountable means, but still, people, I have to really drive that home. I was participating in some ICOs in 2017, and I got scammed. I'll be honest with you. I was still kind of a fresh face on the scene, and I did get scammed. Not any ICOs that I was like talking about in my videos or anything, but I was scammed behind the scenes. I threw some change at it just to see what it did, and they ran away with my money. And I didn't hold them accountable. I didn't go on like class action lawsuits trying to sue people. That was on me. I saw the risk, I took the risk, and they got me. So what can I say? But yeah, institutional investors cash out. The CEO gets a big bonus. The retail guys get left holding the bag, and then the company becomes a really large public company. And the CEO takes big packages and then leaves, and then the government has to bail them out, which is freaking crazy that they really bail these people out. that shit is crazy, son. Well, yeah. Zhao added that traditional fundraising methods have been played for too long, emphasizing that a lot of people know how to play it and they do the game. AKA the system. Blockchain fundraising to grow exponentially in the coming years. So basically, he's saying in this that although we have seen the boom of ICOs and the decline of ICOs because of the whole scamming thing, and now we have thousands of crypto projects on CMC that we've seen, and even possibly ones that haven't even made CMC yet. We're seeing these things, and a lot of people have kind of caught on to a lot of these projects are just here for people's money and just to run off with it and not actually do or put in place real world solutions to any problems. And he's saying that we're not going to be going through this phase for much longer. We're actually going to see an increase in fundraising for companies or projects that the whole public has access to globally, not just local people, but a global ecosystem for fundraising for the next big company. And he's saying we're going to see this exponentially happen and exponentially grow within the coming years, 10 to 20 years, in his own words. And I felt the same way too. I just feel like the ICO hype and craze kind of blinded people. So they thought that any and everything was gonna pop, even though any and everything was ready to pop. You feel me? That if you understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, that's Changpeng Zhao's outlook on the future of ICOs and also his look or perspective on IPOs in the traditional financial system. Final article: Are banks and capital markets ready to embrace blockchain? Now, in my opinion, a lot of these bigger bank companies aren't ready. They can't. They're dinosaurs. It's hard for them to do this. It's hard for them to make that transition. So, in my personal opinion or perspective, I think that a lot of these bigger institutional investors or companies or more traditional finance companies, I think that they're gonna more so invest in people who are mm, building themselves into space rather than them trying to go full force into the space. That's why we're seeing so many funds being created. We talked about this, I think, not yesterday, 2 videos ago. People, no, the last video actually, one person was raising $450 million for a blockchain investment fund after previously raising a $300 million for a blockchain investment fund. And he's not the only person doing this. It's happening all over the world. We're seeing all these acceleration programs. Banks are investing in projects. It's crazy. Like I said, we're seeing people or these larger institutional or more traditional financial players understanding that instead of doing the I want to say the easy task, but instead of going through the long route of having to convert our systems and just add on like a fancy, plugin that says you guys can now buy crypto or stuff like that, they're gonna go to the companies or the budding startups that are building in the space, have more of a comprehension of the space, and they're saying, "Hey, here's some money. We want stake. Let us in, and you can have access to this XYZ amount of funds." And that's my take on the whole thing. Instead of doing that, I think they're still gonna do it slowly but surely because they still have the household name. But who knows? In the future, their household names might not mean anything. Kind of like with Blockbuster and Netflix, you know. And to be honest, Blockbuster just didn't take advantage. And even I'd even say even like Redbox, Redbox got cut off real quick. You can still find them, I think, but Redbox isn't really as profitable as you would think they are anymore. Can capital markets replicate the fintech payments revolution? Now, this is another thing. We have seen some headway into this space with traditional financial instruments. We can see it in examples like Unity Bank, Synchrony Bank, Chime Bank. We're seeing a lot of digital movements towards cashless societies or cashless payment systems, but it's just not there 100%. And the crypto companies are the ones that are really going to shine, especially after this downturn that's being caused by the coronavirus. So they're talking about how startups are pouring into the blockchain space, which is another thing that I said. People are building in this environment. They're not on the outside trying to build in the environment. They're on the inside in the dead center, going through the problems, solving people's issues, being hit left and right by questions and demands from customers, and they're being pressured. Like all that pressure is going to turn their company into a diamond that alleviates all the needs of their customers, all the needs and wants, because it's not just about the needs, it's also about the wants. So this has been your boy CG, everybody. This article is going to be in the bio description for the video for you guys to have a deeper analysis of. Have a great day, everybody. I hope you guys try to stay healthy to the best of your ability, because a lot of people aren't taking this coronavirus seriously, and in some cases people may argue that it's not that serious. In some cases people may argue that it's serious, but whatever it may be, stay safe. Peace. I'm out.